Good morning and welcome to the RC Stories Garage. Today I'm working on my TRX-4 Sport, swapping out the electronics. Did quite a bit of work yesterday, got the 2-speed shifting in and the locking diffs installed. Now I am working on motor and ESC, putting in a Fusion Pro and taking out the stock motor, which is pretty much dead. What I'm working on right now is figuring out my JST power for lighting and winch, etc. This, of course, is the stock XL5 HV ESC, and it comes with this magic little plug here. It's a JST plug, female, and that is soldered directly to the battery connectors inside the ESC. So that's battery voltage coming out of that. I'll show you that here. Let's just plug in a battery. .3S Genzace Adventure, and I'll just take a reading. 12.3 volts. So that's 3S voltage. So I can wire the new motor in ESC several ways. This is the Fusion. Of course, no JST plug. Got our servo wire goes to the receiver, switch, programming connection, battery connector. The simplest or cleanest maybe method is to just take a length of JST wire, solder it directly to that connector. So when the motor is in the truck, this will reach wherever I want it to reach. That's method number one. Pretty easy to solder that. But what if you don't want to solder? What if you're not used to soldering? I run all my batteries with the XT60 plug anyway, so I just plug that in, good to go. Here's option number two. For a nice clean setup. Of course, the battery connection, XT60, and then we have here the balance plug, which is called an XH connector. If I was running a BEC on the JST plug, it might be different, but I'm just running lights in the winch, so get a little adapter like this. It's got a XH balance plug, male on one end, and a female JST plug on the other. This is a 3S, so it's got 4 wires, ground, and 3 positives. Plug that in there. Now let's take a reading on that. .3 volts. Well, that's great. That's a great solution. I use these for running my direct power servos. Again, that's enough for the draw of a servo. Nice and clean. Don't have to do any additional wiring. I can run different batteries. If I wanted to run 2S, I can run 2S. Just need a 2S version of this plug. So I like that, and I might actually do this. So I like these connectors. I'm not going to tell you where I get them because I don't want them to be out of stock, but use your imagination. You can get these with a set of with wires already attached, and then you could solder together your own wire adapter if you wanted. Every once in a while when I hear about people putting in third-party ESCs on a Traxxas TRX-4 and how to wire up the JST connector, people get nervous about wiring a connector directly to a battery lead on an ESC because they worry that that battery voltage is going to be too high for the electronics. Now, as we saw, the stock ESC has battery voltage coming out of the JST anyway, so it's not a problem. But what if you do want to connect some electronics that do require lower voltage, can't handle 3S, for example? Well, let's look at how this balance connector is wired. And we'll see. So that adapter had wires connected to one pin and the fourth pin. If we take a voltage reading on that, we get 12.3 volts. Now what if we take a voltage reading on pin number 3 instead? 8.2 volts, so 2S. And on pin number 2, it's 4.1 volts, or 1S. So you could wire up your own JST adapter to go off the balance plug at 4 volts, 8 volts, 12 volts, or higher if you're running 4S or 6S or something like that. Anyway, I thought I would just share that. I have to make a decision about what option I'm going to use on this truck. Part of it has to do with the fact that these Hobbywing leads are always very long, and the only long JST wire that I have is only 24 gauge, which I don't like. There's some shorter ones that are 20 gauge, but so now I have to decide which option I want to go with. I think I'm going to go with the balance port adapter. It's clean and it seems to fit nice, and I can always solder later. And alright, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Have fun out there and stay warm and safe.